Welcome to Market Mantra, the program in which we give you a complete update on the economic, business and stock market news of the day. My name is Nishit Kumar and with me is my co-anchor in Hindi, Prachi Priya.
नमस्कार, मार्केट मंत्र में आपका स्वागत है। यहाँ हम आर्थिक, व्यापारिक और शेयर बाजार की ताज़ा खबरें आप तक लाते हैं। आज की प्रमुख खबरों पर चर्चा के लिए स्टूडियो में आमंत्रित हैं आर्थिक विश्लेषक सुषमा रामचंद्रन। सुषमा जी, स्टूडियो में आपका करजोर अभिनंदन।
धन्यवाद।
चर्चा शुरू करेंगे मगर उससे पहले हेडलाइंस।
The headlines: benchmark domestic indices register losses. Sensex falls over 350 points. Nifty holds 26,000 level. Most Asian stock markets end in the positive territory, and the Indian bullion market, gold and silver prices continue to trade in the bullish note.
देश के प्रमुख शेयर सूचकांकों में गिरावट दर्ज की गई। सेंसेक्स 350 अंक से अधिक गिरा। निफ्टी 26,000 के स्तर पर बरकरार रहा। अधिकांश एशियाई शेयर बाजार मुनाफे के साथ बंद हुए और सर्राफा बाजार में सोना और चांदी लगातार बढ़त के साथ कारोबार कर रहे हैं।
The views and opinions expressed by the experts in this program are their own and not of Akashvani. Akashvani advises its listeners to do their own research or consult a registered professional before taking any investment decision. We further advise all listeners to exercise due diligence and rely on their own judgment for taking any financial decision.
निश्चित, आइए रुख करते हैं आज की पहली खबर की तरफ। देश के प्रमुख शेयर सूचकांक सेंसेक्स और निफ्टी आज गिरावट के साथ बंद हुए। दोनों सूचकांक नुकसान के साथ खुले और पूरे कारोबार के दौरान दबाव में रहे। सेंसेक्स 367 अंक यानी 0.43% गिरकर 85,041 पर बंद हुआ, जबकि निफ्टी 100 अंक यानी 0.38% गिरकर 26,042 पर आ गया। बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के व्यापक बाजार सूचकांक भी नकारात्मक स्तर पर बंद हुए। मिड कैप सूचकांक लगभग 0.2% नीचे और स्मॉल कैप सूचकांक 0.3% से अधिक गिरा।
The benchmark domestic equity indices, the Sensex and the Nifty, ended the session on a bearish note today. Both indices opened in the negative territory and remained under pressure throughout the trading session. The Sensex fell by 367 points or 0.43% to close at 85,041, while the Nifty dipped 100 points or 0.38% to settle at 26,042. The broader market indices at the Bombay Stock Exchange also closed in the negative zone. The mid-cap index settled nearly 0.2% down and the small-cap index lost over 0.3%.
सेंसेक्स में शामिल 30 में से 24 कंपनियों के शेयरों में गिरावट दर्ज की गई। सबसे अधिक गिरावट दर्ज करने वाली कंपनियों में बजाज फाइनेंस में लगभग 1.5%, एशियन पेंट्स में 1.4% और टीसीएस में 1.2% से अधिक की गिरावट आई। शीर्ष लाभ कमाने वालों में टाइटन के शेयरों में 2.1% से अधिक की तेजी आई। एनटीपीसी के शेयरों में 0.4% से अधिक की वृद्धि हुई और अल्ट्राटेक सीमेंट के शेयरों में 0.3% की वृद्धि दर्ज की गई।
Across the sectoral indices at the Bombay Stock Exchange, 19 out of 22 sectors registered losses except the FMCG, which remained flat. Among the top laggards, focused IT declined over 1%, IT dropped 0.9% and telecommunications lost 0.6%. In the gainers, metal climbed 0.5% and the commodities gained over 0.3%. The overall market breadth at the Bombay Stock Exchange was negative as shares of 2,456 companies declined, 1,745 advanced and 178 remained unchanged.
बात अगर रुपये की करें तो अंतर बैंकिंग विदेशी मुद्रा बाजार में रुपया आज 6 पैसे गिरकर अमरीकी डॉलर के मुकाबले 89 रुपये 84 पैसे पर बंद हुआ। डॉलर इंडेक्स, जो दुनिया की 6 अन्य प्रमुख मुद्राओं की तुलना में डॉलर की मजबूती को दर्शाता है, अंतर्दिवसीय कारोबार में 98.01 पर कारोबार कर रहा था।
Before we move any further, Prachi, Sushma ji, we see the market being in a kind of a seesaw mode here.
Yeah.
One day we see, going up, the next day going down, and not
Yes.
just that. Even if we look at the intraday sessions, even in the intraday, we can see a lot of volatility happening. So, where do you ascribe, what reasons do you ascribe to such kind of a behavior for the market here?
Well, of course, there is a certain amount of volatility always at the end of the calendar year.
Ji.
So the last, 4 or 5 days or the last 1 week, you will find this kind of nervousness. And of course, the quarterly results have yet to, come. The half-yearly results have yet to come in. But of course, at this point, we must also mention that, during these days, the movements of the stock markets are characterized by what is known as the Santa Claus rally.
Ji.
And this Santa Claus rally describes, the last 5 days of the year and the first 2 days, first 2 trading sessions of the new year. But it is not always a rally. And as we have seen in India, certainly, this is probably true of, Wall Street and other developed country markets. But in India, it's not necessarily a rally. And, as you rightly pointed out, Nishit, this is today. There's a lot of volatility. One of the reasons, of course, is the fact that foreign institutional investors have been selling off and they have been moving their funds to the US. The reason being that the US, the economic performance has been surprisingly good. Over 4% growth for a developed economy is certainly very, very good. So that's the kind of data that has been coming in. The other thing, of course, is that the Indian currency, the rupee, has been depreciating, and lastly the uncertainty, and this is continued now for the last few months, the uncertainty over the Indo-US trade deal. Now, I think every 1 or 2 weeks we get assurances from either the Indian negotiators or the US negotiators that they're just on the verge of a breakthrough. Everything is ready. The deal is some even the American Commerce Secretary's team has said that they've got one of the best deals ever from India, but somehow it hasn't been concluded, and that has brought about a certain amount of nervousness to the market.
You're talking about the US markets or the Western markets or the advanced market, rather, giving good results, if not
Yes.
average or bad. If you look at the NASDAQ composite, mostly predominantly it's been kind of littered with the tech companies over there.
Yes.
Now, with the Indian tech stocks here, they have not been rallying as much as their US counterparts. Now, how do you see this, and what's the anomaly kind of, how is it playing out, in the Indian market sentiments?
So there's a vast difference between tech companies here and there. You have tech companies over there are all in the cutting edge of technology, and of course you have the giant, what you call big tech over there. That is, Meta and Google,
yeah.
and all these companies over there, Nvidia. These are the big companies over there. So though the kind of work that they are doing in AI and artificial intelligence is, they're at the cutting edge. And therefore, the stock market there, of course, has been booming lately because of the focus on these companies, the faith or that this is the industry of the future. This is the technology of the future. And of course, there's even been talk that because the stock market has been going so high, based on the interest in these 5 or 6 companies, and people are even talking about it being some kind of a bubble. So we don't have that in India. In India, we have companies which are relying. There is increasingly growth in research and development, and we have a lot of unicorns, as you very well know. Probably, we have the largest after the US and China. But the fact is that our companies are relying on services work that is coming from developed economies like the US and Europe. So we are not really in that kind of a league, though we seem to be moving in that direction with the new investments that are coming in.
सुषमा जी, विदेशी निवेश की तरफ एक बार फिर आपका ध्यान आकर्षित करते हुए मैं ये पूछूंगी कि इस साल लगभग 1.5 लाख रुपए से अधिक की निकासी हुई है एफपीआई की। क्या ऐसे कारण संभवतः होते हैं और इस साल रहे भी होंगे जिस वजह से ये निकासी हुई?
1.5 लाख करोड़ अगर
1.5 लाख करोड़, जी बिल्कुल।
हाँ, तो ये आउटफ्लो जो चाह रहा है वो कई वजह है, और इसमें हमने इसके बारे में इसी प्रोग्राम में काफी बातचीत भी हुई है कि जो रिटर्न्स, अब मनी वहां जाता है जहां से रिटर्न आएगा जी। तो इस वक्त जबकि फेडरल रिजर्व ने इंटरेस्ट रेट्स काटे हैं, वहां उनकी इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ अच्छी है, तो ज़रूर वहाँ इसलिए पैसा वहाँ फ्लो कर रहा है। और ये भी ये परसेप्शन है कि इंडिया में जो स्टॉक्स हैं हमारे ओवर वैल्यूड हैं इस वक्त। तो और अगर आप देखें और भी जो एशिया की स्टॉक मार्केट्स हैं उनमें ये फिनोमिनन नहीं है कि एफआईज इतनी जल्दी इतना ज़्यादा निकाल रही हैं, क्योंकि उनकी जो स्टॉक मार्केट्स इतना हाई वैल्यू की नहीं है। वजह एक ये है कि हमारे जो डोमेस्टिक इन्वेस्टर्स, उन्होंने बहुत अपना जो बिल्कुल फेथ डाला हुआ है स्टॉक मार्केट में, और इंडिया स्टोरी में उनका फेथ है। ये भी एक चीज है जिसमें हमारी स्टॉक मार्केट्स बिल्कुल अलग हैं बाकी एशिया में। अगर आप देखें तो एफआईआईज चाहे निकाले हमारी मार्केट से, फिर भी जो आजकल तो हम वॉलेटिलिटी देख रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर आप पिछले 2 साल से देखें तो हमारी जो स्टॉक मार्केट है सेंसेक्स ऊपर की तरफ ही जा रही है। बुलिश ट्रेंड ही, ब्रॉडली बुलिश ट्रेंड है, ओवरऑल बुलिश ट्रेंड है। और ये इसी वजह से है क्योंकि डोमेस्टिक इन्वेस्टर्स का इतना फेथ है हमारी मार्केट में, और फेथ है कि जो इंडिया की जो ग्रोथ स्टोरी है, चलो अभी नहीं, कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं तो ये बढ़ती चली जाएगी। और दूसरी बात ये है हमारे, अगर आप इकोनॉमिक फंडामेंटल्स देखें वो कितने अच्छे हैं। अब 8.2% ग्रोथ कौन सी किसी देश में आपको मिलने को आपको दिखेगा इतना ज्यादा पेस ऑफ ग्रोथ। और बाकी जो भी इंडिकेटर्स हैं बिल्कुल पॉजिटिव हैं। तो अगर आप उसी बेसिस पे जाएं तो एफआईआईज को नहीं निकलना चाहिए था, लेकिन वो अपना, जैसे मैंने कहा, वो रिटर्न्स देखते हैं, रिटर्न्स वहां थोड़े से ज्यादा है।
नए साल में आप क्या प्रोस्पेक्ट्स देखती हैं?
नए साल में मैं सबसे बड़ी चीज हमारी स्टॉक मार्केट जो है वो सेंटिमेंट ड्रिवन है जी। और जैसे मैंने कहा कि फंडामेंटल्स चाहे हमारे बहुत अच्छे हों, लेकिन सेंटिमेंट इस वक्त ये है कि ये जो बहुत बड़ी ट्रेड डील है अमेरिका के साथ, वो अभी इसका कुछ खात्मा नहीं हुआ है, इसकी साइनिंग नहीं हुई। जब तक वो नहीं होगा तो मेरे ख्याल थोड़ी सी वॉलेटिलिटी चलेगी न्यू ईयर में।
आईटी का शार्प डाउनफॉल हुआ है। हमने देखा कि आज भी जो आईटी है वो 0.9% गिरा है। क्या कारण रहे होंगे इस लगातार गिरावट के, अगर हम सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक बात करें?
देखिए, ये भी अमेरिका में, हालांकि हमारी अगेन अगर आप डेटा देखें तो सर्विसेज एक्सपोर्ट्स हमारी बढ़ रही हैं बहुत अच्छी तरीके से, और इसमें कोई वजह नहीं है कि स्टॉक्स नीचे जाएं। लेकिन सेंटिमेंट ड्रिवन हमारी मार्केट है, और सेंटिमेंट ये है कि H1B वीजास के ऊपर इतना जोर लगा हुआ है अमेरिका में, और ये हमारी जो टेक कंपनीज है उनको कुछ तकलीफ होगी। लेकिन इतनी तकलीफ हमारी कंपनीज को असल में नहीं होगी, क्योंकि वो ज्यादातर रिमोट वर्क वैसे ही कर रहे हैं, और वो इतना H1B वीजास का मतलब इस्तेमाल नहीं करते। ज्यादा इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, अगर आप वो डेटा देखें तो ये अमेरिकन कंपनीज इस्तेमाल करती हैं, वो है Amazon और गूगल और ये अकाउंटिंग कंपनीज जो हैं डेलॉयट वगैरह। तो हमारी कंपनीज मेरे ख्याल 8th और 9th स्टेटस पे आता है। खैर TCS ऊपर आता है, बाकी तो अगर आप देखें हमारी आईटी कंपनीज बहुत ज़्यादा इसका इस्तेमाल नहीं करती। लेकिन हमारी स्टॉक मार्केट जो है वो सेंटिमेंट ड्रिवन है, और H1B वीजास की खबर रोज के रोज आ रही है।
तो आने वाले साल में आप किस तरीके से देखते हैं? आईटी का इसी तरीके से रहेगा जो अभी
आईटी के प्रोस्पेक्ट्स बहुत अच्छे हैं, वो चल रहे हैं। सर्विसेज एक्सपोर्ट्स, फाइनेंशियल, ये आईटी एक्सपोर्ट्स जो है ये बहुत अच्छे तरीके से उनका आउटलुक बहुत बढ़िया है, क्योंकि हालांकि जो
आपकी तरफ से ग्रीन फ्लैग बिल्कुल।
Now, talking of the cousin of IT here, Sushma ji, you also mentioned earlier in your opening remarks about this bubble of artificial intelligence, which is kind of being hyped on a large scale now. If I remember, some 20-25 years back of the .com
yes,
bubble.
absolutely, just like that,
right.
people are talking about it.
So And also, you mentioned that the American tech companies like Meta and all, they're doing exceedingly well as compared to their Indian counterparts.
Yes.
You mentioned TCS and all. So now there has been a growing tendency among the investors, even in India and the domestic markets, of kind of exploring the overseas markets, especially the American markets, especially the Nasdaq companies and all. And obviously, they have also been giving great results and great returns as well as compared to the Indian markets. Now, what's your message for the Indian investors who are so kind of clamoring, to not to miss the bandwagon or kind of, trying to piggyback on the on the growth story of those companies over there?
Well, I think the message is that you must have faith in the Indian tech sector because it continues to grow rapidly despite all the problems that are, there's in the newspapers, we have the headlines, as I said, about H-1B visas. But don't forget that we also have huge global capability centers where a lot of our very skilled and talented personnel are being utilized. Increasingly large companies are going in for GCCs rather than trying to take this personnel to whether the US or Europe. And they're functioning from here. So I think that there needs to be, the Indian investor must remember, and the Indian investor, I must say, has, as I said, already had great faith in the Indian market and the growth story. And I think they need to continue this focus and remember that the IT sector is one of the strengths of this country. Globally, it is known. And I think we can continue to rely on it.
रुक करते हैं एशिया और यूरोप की बाजार की तरफ। आज अधिकांश एशियाई शेयर बाजार सकारात्मक रुख के साथ बंद हुए। जापान का निकेई सूचकांक 0.7% बढ़ा। दक्षिण कोरिया का कॉस्पी सूचकांक 0.5% बढ़ा। चीन का शंघाई कॉम्पोजिट सूचकांक 0.1% की बढ़त के साथ बंद हुआ, जबकि सिंगापुर का स्ट्रेट टाइम्स सूचकांक स्थिर रहा। वहीं हांगकांग और यूरोप के बाजार अवकाश के कारण बंद रहे।
And moving on to the US markets, the Wall Street remained closed yesterday in observance of the Christmas holiday, and trading is set to resume tonight. And moving on to some other stories, India's foreign exchange reserves edged up by $4.3 billion to $693.3 billion for the week ending on the 19th of December. Gold reserves rose by $2.6 billion to $110.3 billion. Foreign currency assets, which formed the largest component of the reserves, increased by $1.6 billion to over $559.4 billion during the week, influenced by fluctuations in currencies such as euro, pound and the yen. Central bank's position in the International Monetary Fund also advanced by $95 million to $4.78 billion, and special drawing rights added $8 million to $18.74 billion. Sushma ji, talking of the Indian rupee slide, this has been going on for some time now, and it seems that it's been unprecedented now. Where is the rupee going to stop from here?
Well, I think, again, so many analysts have been discussing this. Why has the rupee been depreciating? And again, if you look at the basic fundamentals of the Indian economy, there's no real reason for it. Because if you see India, I just mentioned the 8.2% growth. No other country is doing that kind of growth. And we are, all our other indicators look really very good. So what is the reason? So one of the reasons that has been identified is, again, this concern over the Indo-US trade deal. And the fact that India currently has the highest tariff imposed by the US, the 50% tariff, which came on because India was buying Russian oil, has still not been removed, even though negotiations are going on for a Russia-Ukraine peace deal, even though India has kind of moderated its purchases due to sanctions which had been imposed, not voluntarily. So this is, I think, a big concern for the markets, and also, internationally, this is a concern, even though at the same time, you remember that Standard & Poor has upgraded its investment rating for India immediately after the 50% tariff was imposed. So on many indicators, India is doing very well, and therefore it is kind of an inexplicable fall. And I think one of the major drivers is the fact that this India-US, this friction between India and the US continues.
हमारे पिटारे में श्रोताओं और भी खबरें हैं, आइए रुख करें उस तरफ। विदेश मंत्रालय के प्रवक्ता रणधीर जायसवाल ने कहा कि भारत और अमेरिका दोनों ही निष्पक्ष, संतुलित और पारस्परिक रूप से लाभकारी व्यापार समझौते को अंतिम रूप देने के प्रयासों में लगे हुए हैं। आज नई दिल्ली में मीडिया को संबोधित करते हुए उन्होंने ये बात कही। भारत यूरोपीय संघ मुक्त व्यापार समझौते पर श्री जायसवाल ने यह भी कहा कि दोनों ही पक्षों के बीच बातचीत आगे बढ़ रही है। सुषमा जी, काफी इंतजार है इसका, क्या मानना है आपका, कब तक हमें ये समझौता साकार रूप में नजर आएगा?
ये तो आई थिंक ये बिल्कुल कोई किसी जादूगर से पूछना पड़ेगा या तो कोई ज्योतिषी से पूछना पड़ेगा कि ये क्यों हो रहा है, कब हो रहा है, क्योंकि दोनों तरफ से, अगर आप इंडिया की तरफ से देखें या अमेरिका की तरफ से, दोनों तरफ से नेगोशिएटर्स कहते हैं बस अभी होने वाला है, कल होने वाला है, पर बिल्कुल सब कुछ तैयार है, लेकिन होता नहीं है, रियलिटी ये है। तो इसके बारे में मैं कुछ कह नहीं सकती, पर ब्रॉड कॉन्टूर्स तो हमें पता चल गई हैं, काफ़ी रिपोर्ट्स आ गई हैं कि हम काफ़ी कंसेशंस दे रहे हैं, पर जो सेंसिटिव सेक्टर्स हैं, जो डेयरी और एग्रीकल्चर, उनके ऊपर हमने काफ़ी रोक लगाई हुई है।
Absolutely. And in some other stories, the government has notified Colliery Control Rules Amendment 2025 to simplify approval process for the opening of coal mines. We have a report.
According to the Coal Ministry, the amendment removes procedural redundancies and enables faster operationalization of mines while ensuring continued regulatory oversight. As per the earlier norms, a coal or lignite mine owner was required to obtain prior permission from the Coal Controllers Organization (CCO) for opening a coal mine. The requirement of obtaining prior opening permission from the CCO has now been dispensed with this amendment. This reform would streamline the approval process while ensuring that the compliance responsibility remains firmly with the company's highest decision-making authority. With inputs from Akshit, Ayushi Singh for Market Mantra.
भारतीय रेलवे ने तेजी से बढ़ती रेल यात्रा मांग को पूरा करने के लिए 2030 तक 48 प्रमुख शहरों में रेलगाड़ियों की परिचालन क्षमता को दोगुना करने की योजना बनाई है। इन शहरों में दिल्ली, मुंबई, कोलकाता, चेन्नई, हैदराबाद, बेंगलुरु, पटना, भोपाल और पुरी शामिल हैं। रेल मंत्रालय ने कहा है कि इससे आने वाले वर्षों में यातायात की बढ़ती मांग को पूरा करने में सहायता मिलेगी। रेलवे बोर्ड के अध्यक्ष सतीश कुमार ने क्षेत्रीय रेलवे के सभी महाप्रबंधकों को पत्र लिखकर अपने अपने मंडलों में ट्रेन संचालन क्षमता को बढ़ाने का निर्देश दिया है। उन्हें शहरी क्षेत्रों में तथा उसके आसपास नए टर्मिनलों तक पहुंचाने और पहचान करने और उन्हें स्थापित करने के लिए कहा गया है।
Susma ji, this is a really heartening story which is coming up or which is being there in the pipeline for some time now, of course, and now it seems that the Railway Board has given the approval for the expansion and all. Now, with the kind of bottlenecks and roadblocks that we see, especially if we talk of the rail traffic here, do you see that how and where do we see the wherewithals within which the railway can expand, given the limited kind of space, limited resources and limited everything that we have in our hands?
Well, I think that's a good question, but I think we can expand also because the railways is such an important lifeline for the masses in this country. And although there has been this phenomena, which is a very welcome phenomena, that even people who earlier could not afford to travel by air are now being able to afford travel by air, and you find people who are not so well off being able to take airplanes. But at the same time, the comfort of rail travel, the economic cost of it is so much cheaper that the bulk of people in this country want to travel by rail, and they don't need to travel by rail. Now we talk about migrants. People are working in different parts of the country. They need to go back to their homes at times of festival, at times of holidays, and therefore at that time you have this peak crowds in the trains. And for that, the capacity needs to be increased. And of course, we need to ensure at the same time that these new trains are equally safe, equally efficient. Safety, I think, should be a priority factor in this, in laying down new lines, and also comfort of the passenger. because increasingly our people are seeking a better ease of living.
जी मैं इसी पर आने वाली थी कि ईज ऑफ लिविंग में ये
it should be, railways need to have proper facilities, whether it is toilets, whether it is air conditioning, whether it is proper bunks, and cleanliness is a very key factor. So even if they are expanding, I do hope the railways keeps all these factors into account while expanding the infrastructure that they have.
Another question, Sushma ji, if we can discuss, we have seen, over the past maybe a week or maybe in 10 days of sessions, in the stock market, the railway stocks have been really surging over the past few sessions. So where is the spurt coming from? Normally, historically, even if we look at it, before the budget, a couple of months before the budget, which comes up, the railway stocks or the fertilizer stocks, they do spurt up. But this time it's been a bit more than that.
So railway infrastructure is important as far as development is concerned. The manufacture of rolling stock is a key area in the manufacturing sector. And also, as I said, we need to expand public transportation capacity. I mean, coming back to a different issue is that we have so many of private vehicles in the capital which have contributed to pollution. So increasingly, we need to focus more on mass transport, and railways is one of the biggest. Provider of mass transport in this country. It needs to be expanded. It needs to be made more safe, better. And to meet that, so that people do not rely on private transport, the less they rely on private transport. And railways also around cities, apart from metros, you have, urban railways, which used to serve Delhi, for instance, in past years. So all this is certainly important, and I think railways is going to assume that, and that probably is reflective in the stocks, interest in this stock.
Absolutely. Moving on to crude now, the global crude oil prices were marginally up today as investors weighed potential supply risks from developing geopolitical tensions in a thin volume post-Christmas session. Brent crude was trading nearly flat at $62 and 23 cents per barrel, and the WTI crude was trading 0.1% up at $58 and 40 cents per barrel when reports last came in. And moving on to the bullion market, in the Indian bullion market, the rally in gold and silver prices continued today, with the precious metal hitting their new highs during the intraday trade in futures market. The strong momentum in the bullion is largely attributed to global uncertainties and expectations of further US rate cuts next year. The 24-karat gold was trading 0.8% up at 1,39,610 rupees per 10 grams, and silver was trading 3.7% up at 2,32,030 rupees per kilogram a short while ago.
मल्टी कमोडिटी एक्सचेंज में ताज़ा समाचार मिलने तक फरवरी अनुबंध का सोना लगभग 0.8% बढ़कर 1,39,320 रुपये प्रति 10 ग्राम पर कारोबार कर रहा था, जबकि मार्च अनुबंध वाली चांदी 3.6% बढ़त के साथ 2,35,247 रुपये प्रति किलोग्राम पर कारोबार कर रही थी। सुषमा जी, कार्यक्रम में आने और चर्चा करने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू प्राची।
और अब चलते चलते एक नजर आज की आर्थिक सुर्खियों पर।
Thank you so very much, Sushma ji, for having joined us and shared your views. And before we close, a reminder of the headlines. Benchmark domestic indices registered losses. Sensex falls over 350 points. Nifty holds 26,000 level. Most Asian stock markets end in the positive territory. And in the Indian bullion market, gold and silver prices continue to trade on bullish note. And that's it in this edition of Market Mantra from the entire team here. It's goodbye.
इस कार्यक्रम में विशेषज्ञों द्वारा विचार उनके अपने हैं। आकाशवाणी अपने श्रोताओं को सलाह देता है कि निवेश का निर्णय करने से पहले स्वयं रिसर्च करें या किसी पंजीकृत सलाहकार से राय लें।
Market Mantra.